Alright, we are back. This is dry enough. I think we can move on to this point, and we're just going to let that kind of settle. We are going to come back to that smaller brush that we mentioned a few moments ago. I'm going to set this one aside. We're pretty much done with the big one for now. We're going to use this one, and we're going to use our liner brush or the rigger brush, and I'll explain more about that when we get to it. Now, I'm just going to actually just wet this brush just a smidgen. And if you notice right over here, I just have a paper towel. I'm just kind of dabbing my brush on so it doesn't stay super wet. I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to pick up some of that same color, but I'm also going to reach up here and pick up a little bit more black and a little bit more of that green. Just not adding a lot of water to it. The less water you add, the more pigment or more color you're going to have. And then what I'm going to do is about halfway up in here, I'm just going to do just some little indication of some little trees by just what we call sawtooth. We're just holding the brush the same way we did for the like this for the mountain, but I'm just kind of just making a little jagged, just a little small pattern, not going really wide or crazy, just enough to kind of make it look like some little trees. Now, while that's still wet, I'm just going to take that from there and I'm just going to grab the bottom of that and pull it down away from that, using that same sawtooth pattern on the bottom. What that will do is that gives us a little bit of the reflection. You'll see this more toward the end, and gives us that look sawtooth pattern. While this dries, I'm just going to lift up a little bit using the edge of the brush just to give these a little bit more like evergreens, a little bit more point, so they don't look like conifer trees or the rounded top trees. These look more like that. Okay, now I'm going to move a little bit more forward using the same brush, and we are going to take really just pretty much straight black. And right here, I'm going to put, I think there were 4 trees in our initial. I'm just going to do just a little quick line like so. We're going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. Now you can see a little bit better the trees we did, and I'm going to pull down like so, and then again like so. Okay, just making straight lines. A little bit further down, we're going to fill all this in with dark color. Okay, and as a result of that, all these lines will go away. Alright, so I'm going to pick up the dark colors, darkest colors I have are my black and my brownish greens. Actually, it's probably more of an umber, so I just have some green in it. Nice and dark, and I'm going to hold it this time. Instead of holding the brush this way, I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, forming an evergreen tree. I'm holding it with the brush running flat like this, just like so, and I'm going back and forth, back and forth. Okay? Picking up some more color, using kind of the corner of it, and just, I am not worried about it meshing together. Matter of fact, I want it to. These trees are clumped together, and I'm actually going to bring that down into the bottom. Touch of water just to help pick up the If you like this video, you find it helpful, please let me know by subscribing and leave me a comment. Like I said, these are some of the first videos I'm doing instructionally, so I am learning and how to do this better and better videography and so forth to make this an easier and more learnable thing. Okay, now I have filled that in just like that. So now I have these silhouetted trees against this backdrop. Now I'm going to just rinse my brush a little bit. It's still wet. I'm just going to take this and pull it down and just kind of blend that into the water, like so. Okay. Now, while that's still kind of wet, we can take a, excuse me, I apologize for that, take what is known as a palette knife or painting knife or whatever. You may or may not have one. If not, you can use something as simple as the handle of a spoon, or actually even in some ways you can use the anything that's got a flat edge to it, anything that's flat. This is a painting knife. While that is still drying, I'm just going to take and just kind of scrape a little bit into that paint like so, and it's just going to kind of create some forms that look kind of like rocks, and I'm going to drag that along there like that. It gives it a shoreline effect, and then what I'm going to do is in reverse, I'm going to imitate those same marks back into the lower section, which is the water, which is going to look like a reflection. And there's one there, there's one there. Okay, just like that, using painting knife. Okay, let me show you a little bit more what we're there. You can see the rock simulation, the trees. We're going to make those trees a little darker, and we're also going to make them look a little bit better. Now, we're going to move away from our flat brush, and we're going to pick up this liner brush. This liner brush is not in the pack that I showed in the other video. This is a script liner brush. You can pick it up at the same places that I've been sharing. It has long bristles on it, as you can see. Long bristles. And it comes in great for making long grasses, and in this case making these trees. And so I'm going to move these brushes here out of the way, turn this around to get to this a little bit better. And then all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to not use any water. I'm just going to keep repeating the same effect with this, just to make it, just add some darkness to the top, and just to tidy these up a little bit, make them look like they have more limbs at the top, because once they mesh together, and in this particular scene, if you're looking at from across the lake with the sunset behind the mountains in the background, you're not going to see a lot of detail, okay? And that's why this is such an easy first watercolor to do, because there's not a great deal of detail. So I'm just going to add these little marks. I'm just holding it like a pencil. I'm just working it back and forth, giving it individual line effects. I'm going to actually be posting a video on how to do these specific, I'm so sorry, like that, to do specifically how to do these types of trees in watercolor, as well as in other mediums that we're going to be sharing. There, just making a little darker line, and I'm just making it look like a evergreen style tree, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, like that. Now, just to fill this in very quickly, and for our sake, I'm just going to fill this in with a little bit darker. And yeah, there we go, just to fill that in. Had a little light spot there. Okay, I'm just going to turn my brush on the edge and just create like some little grass there, just touching that. Okay, and that's pretty much the reality of what we're doing. Okay, and here we go. Let's back it out just a little bit, give you a little bit better perspective. Okay, couple things we're going to do, and then we're pretty much going to call this one done. Is I'm going to take my palette knife. You can take any kind of a straight edge, doesn't matter, and right along the middle of those trees where we did, I'm just going to kind of scratch the paper and let the white kind of fall through. I'm just scratching the paper a little bit, and that's going to create the water line. Now you see that on your paper. You see that at a distance. Now it looks like that's the bank in the far distance. And then just to add a little bit more fact, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to use it to scratch here. Just enough to scratch away some of the paint, just a little bit of the white through to create what we know as, well, what we call water lines. Just to look like, give it that more natural effect, looking like that. Okay? And that's pretty much it. That's just a few minutes of that. In another video, we're going to show you how to do some additional effects. I'm just going to take my liner brush and just add a couple birds here, like that. Put this down. I'm going to lift this up and zoom this out just a little bit better for you. And there is the watercolor card. Okay, let that completely dry. Give it a matter of minutes, if not probably a good 20 or 15 or 20 minutes. It will be completely dry, and then you can sign your name to it. You can use a pencil, a pen, whatever, and sign your name to it. Sometimes what I do is I printed some up on, when I give these to friends or to other folks. I have a little sticker that I printed up, and I just put that on the back of it like that, and has my information. That way if they'd like something, they can like look at the website or whatever they can. Okay, hope this helps. Enjoy, and please let me know if this was helpful, and subscribe down below. Thanks. Alright, very quickly, just to show you another thing here at the very end of this. As you know, we put tape on the corners down here, so that leaves us a little bit of white space. Well, the way to fix that, very, very simple. You take just a touch of your water and a little bit of your color that you used for your sky area or for your water, and just cover it up. And basically take the water with the brush, dab it down, and then just kind of pick the color up that's right next to it, and just kind of drag it across, and it'll fill in that little corner. And that's how you can take care of that little white corner. The other option is when you tape your card down, roll the tape over, place it underneath the card like this, and let it hold it that way, and that'll eliminate you having to do that as well. Alright, have a great day and enjoy. Thank you. Let me know what you think.